Not every move needs to be seen. Not every goal needs to be shared. And not every success needs an audience. In today's world, sharing is encouraged. Every achievement, plan, or struggle is broadcasted for views, likes, and validation. But in that constant noise, something valuable gets lost: the power of silent progress. There's strength in keeping your journey to yourself. Not out of fear, but out of focus. Let's uncover why silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. Number 1. Silence protects your vision. When ideas are shared too early, they often lose momentum. Opinions start flowing in, and people, whether intentionally or not, begin to project their doubts. Their experiences, their fears, their limitations. Over time, your vision can begin to blur. But when you keep your plans to yourself, they remain clear and intact. You can shape them without interference. You're not influenced by how others think it should be done, you follow your own path. Silence protects your vision until it's strong enough to face the world. Private progress builds quiet confidence. There's a difference between seeking attention and building real confidence. When progress is made in private, validation comes from the inside. It's not about showing how far you've come, it's about knowing it. Every small step, every habit, every sacrifice made when no one is watching, builds a kind of strength that can't be shaken by criticism or applause. That's the kind of confidence that lasts. You don't owe the world an explanation. Sharing everything can create an invisible obligation to deliver results publicly. And when those results don't come fast enough, you may feel like you failed, even if you're still making real progress. The truth is, you don't need to explain your process to anyone. You don't need to defend your timeline. Your pace is your own. And silence gives you that freedom to work without pressure, without needing to justify every delay, adjustment, or failure. Growth is often uncomfortable, keep it sacred. Real growth is messy. It includes uncertainty, discomfort, trial, and error. It's not always easy to explain. And it's rarely linear. In silence, that process can unfold naturally. There's no pressure to make it look perfect. No need to pretend it's all under control. You get to be honest with yourself. You get to work through challenges without outside noise clouding your thoughts. That space is sacred. Protect it. Visibility can create false urgency. When everyone knows your goals, you may start rushing progress, not because it's the right time, but because you feel like you have something to prove. But forced success is fragile. It breaks under pressure. Silent progress, on the other hand, grows slowly but solidly. It's not driven by a deadline. It's guided by alignment, discipline, and deep focus. No pressure to impress. Just pressure to improve. You get more done when you talk less. Every minute spent explaining your plans is a minute not spent building them. Talking feels productive, but often it replaces the actual work. When you choose silence, your actions speak louder. Energy is spent on execution, not explanation. And that shift in focus accelerates progress faster than any status update ever could. Discipline grows stronger without applause. External praise can be motivating, but it can also be misleading. If the work is driven by applause, then when the applause fades, so does the effort. But private discipline is different. It's rooted in purpose. You show up even when no one's watching. Even when progress feels slow. Even when the finish line is far away. Because it's not about being seen, it's about being consistent. That's how real success is built. Results are the only proof you need. People may question your silence. They may wonder why you disappeared. But you don't need to answer them with words. Let your results respond. When the time is right, the work will speak. Progress becomes visible. Success becomes obvious. And when it happens, it won't require an introduction. It will be clear, undeniable, and earned. Not all validation is helpful. Validation feels good. But it can be misleading. Sometimes, being praised for the plan gives a false sense of completion. It tricks the brain into feeling successful before the work is actually done. Silence removes that temptation. Without the feedback loop of likes or comments, the only reward is actual progress. The only satisfaction comes from completing the task, not just starting it. Moving in private builds long-term identity. When you commit to silent effort, you begin to form a new identity, someone who values growth over attention. Someone who prioritizes goals over gossip. Someone who doesn't need to be seen to feel successful. This mindset doesn't just help in one area, it spills into everything. Your habits become stronger. Your standards rise. And your relationship with yourself improves because you trust yourself more. In the age of constant connection, silence has become rare. Everyone's talking. Everyone's sharing. Everyone's performing. But here's a question worth asking: what if true success isn't loud? What if it grows in the shadows, nourished by focus and protected from noise? This isn't about hiding. It's about building. It's about protecting what matters until it's strong enough to speak for itself. Number 2. Silence helps you avoid external pressure loops. When you share your journey with others, even casually, it can create a subtle loop of expectation. People begin watching, commenting, asking, and even predicting your outcome. That attention, though sometimes well-meaning, creates pressure. Now, instead of working at your own pace, you feel the need to meet expectations, most of which weren't yours to begin with. Silence frees you from that cycle. You don't owe progress updates to anyone. You're not performing, you're building. And that shift protects both your energy and your mental space. Quiet work reduces distraction. Every time you explain, defend, or debate your plans, you give away mental energy. You enter conversations that don't move you forward. But in silence, distractions reduce. Your mind isn't split between how something looks and how it works, it's fully focused on action. And in a distracted world, focus is a superpower. The fewer the eyes, the clearer the mission. The less the talk, the stronger the execution. Most critics don't understand the full picture. When you share too much too early, criticism often comes from people who lack full context. They don't know your why, your timeline, or your long-term vision. Their advice or judgments may be based on assumptions, shortcuts, or limited experience. And if you absorb those comments, you may start doubting something that was never broken. By staying silent, you avoid premature criticism and stay loyal to the full picture that only you can see. Number 3. Silent progress builds mental endurance. When you don't rely on external motivation, you're forced to develop internal drive. And that's where real endurance is built. You learn to keep going without applause. To show up without a reminder. To finish without needing credit. Over time, this self-reliance becomes one of your strongest assets. Because motivation fades, but discipline, once built quietly and consistently, stays with you for life. Private growth is more authentic. When growth happens in silence, it's rarely influenced by trends, public opinions or comparison. It's real. It's authentic. It's based on what you actually want, not what others think you should want. That authenticity shows in the results. The work reflects personal truth, not public pressure. And that kind of work? It lasts longer. It connects deeper. It serves better. You avoid becoming addicted to attention? There's a trap that many fall into, mistaking attention for achievement. When every step forward is shared and praised, the brain starts chasing the attention instead of the goal. Eventually, it becomes more about being seen than being effective. Silence breaks that addiction. It reminds you why you started. It shifts the goal back to mastery, not popularity. Every phase doesn't deserve exposure. Some phases of your journey are rough drafts. Messy outlines. Moments of trial and error. They're not ready for outside input. They need time, patience, and space to evolve. Sharing too soon invites misunderstanding. Worse, it invites pressure to perfect something that's still in progress. Silence respects the creative and strategic process. It gives each phase room to mature without interruption. Winning quietly is more fulfilling. When your journey is private, your wins feel deeper. Not because others didn't know, but because you know how much it took. The sleepless nights, the decisions, the patience, the small breakthroughs no one ever saw. That satisfaction is internal. It's earned, not performed. And no amount of likes or applause can replace it. You avoid unnecessary comparison. Sharing your journey too much can open the door to comparison. Suddenly, your path is being measured against others. Timelines are compared. Milestones are judged. Progress feels behind, not because it is, but because you're looking sideways. Silence closes that door. It centers you back in your lane. And in your lane, the only comparison is between who you were and who you're becoming. Number 4. Silence leaves room for a bigger impact. Sometimes the most powerful moves are the ones no one sees coming. When you keep quiet, you preserve the element of surprise. You enter with strength, clarity, and results, not hype. That entrance carries weight. Not because it was loud, but because it was real. You didn't just talk about doing it, you actually did. In a world that constantly asks for updates, there's something powerful about not answering. About working quietly, consistently, and patiently. About doing the hard things without needing applause. Silence is not empty. It's full of focus, discipline, and purpose. Silence is not hiding. It's preparing. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's not secrecy. It's strategy. When the world expects noise, your silence becomes a statement. A statement of focus, of discipline, of long-term vision. You don't need to be seen to make progress. You don't need approval to keep going. So the next time you're tempted to post the plan, explain the vision, or respond to doubts, pause. Save that energy. Use it where it matters most, in the work itself. Because when it's done right, success doesn't need a spotlight. It shines all on its own. Work in silence. Build without announcement. Win without explanation. And let the results be the loudest thing you say.